Okay, so today is Sunday, January 28th. How much time for rapture to tomorrow, Monday, January 29th? It's the 17th day of the 11th month in Elok calendar. And I also expect today and tomorrow something will happen. And then actually last week there were earthquake tremors in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I just remember one of the earthquakes was 4.2 magnitude. So again, they cooking up that area again, so not sure if this time is the time to blow it up, right? Anyway, so the following Howard time will be the beginning of February 1st and 2nd. Is the 21st day, 11th month in Elok calendar. And so this means this week is pretty exciting and critical into the Chinese New Year. Let's see, it should be next week. Next Saturday, the 10th of February. So can't believe like time flies, and we've already finished the first month of the year, and we're approaching the Chinese New Year, the Wood of Dragon. So I believe they've been performing some kind of rituals. Of course, in their hidden, I don't know, underground or chambers or whatever, that we don't know, because ever since the beginning of the year, the weather's been like changing all the time, and lately, the past few days, been like affecting my sleeping pattern as well. So I think I'm very sensitive about right now. At this point in time, I highly believe that they are performing rituals right now. It could be time ritual, because last night I had a light bulb moment that is like all of a sudden, because I was I just completed the research finally for the son of perdition correlate to the Bible chapters. So then I've wondered, because I've been wondering, the number 12 actually is bad luck, right? Because Jesus had 12 disciples, and one of them betrayed him and led him to the crucifixion. But he had to complete that task anyway. So, which means the number 12 actually is related to betrayal, right? And so in Strong's Concordance, 12 means destruction, and what's that? Forgot. Destructions and one more thing I forgot. But then at the same time, 12, this number is a time number. So that makes sense to me, because when time shift with the like, for example, time shift means either time travel, like from one point to backward or forward, or like timeline jumping, So the time shift events always in the midst of chaos, because during the chaos, the energy is always so powerful that is generated by the chaos, the circumstance, right? So then I was checking the relationship between, actually it's not relationship, actually it's the time, the number of days and years from 2012 to now is exactly 12 years. So that dawned on me that in the past few years, we've been waiting for the time shift, which is turn back in time back to, the first, I can't say the first choice, but like the first on the list is 2012. So all this time I was thinking, how many years passed is the due time to go back in time. 12 is the time number. So, but then I've got distracted by, two YouTubers. They kept saying it's time, it's time, it's time. But like then when I was calculating the number of years apart, like it's just, at the first time it was less than 10 years. So it's not a time number. 9, 8, 9, not a time number. Then 10 years, definitely not a time number. It's just a completion of the whole thing, of everything. Then I was thinking, because if it's 12 years apart, that makes more sense. But then at that time, it seemed like it's time to shift, all those events that made me think it's the time to move things forward instead of staying in this time loop, endless time loop. But then now, last night, when I calculate the number of years between 2012 to now, is exactly 12 years. So it makes sense that now is the time to go back in time. And so the thing is, it's exactly 144 months. $12 years. So I just can't believe it. I think that is the confirmation, right? 12 years, a time number, 144 months is 12 times 12 exactly. And at the same time is referred to the, the rapture during the Great Tribulation. So now, then I was looking at the calendar and was trying to figure out when was the 12-month, 12-day in Enoch calendar this year is February 22nd to 23rd. Can you believe that? It's 222 and 223. That's just insane. We've been discussing 222 and 223 for the past few videos. And it's related to Eve and the first sin and related to Jesus, right? And Adam at the beginning. So I just can't believe that. If my analogy is correct, then February 22nd to 23rd is the time. That is plausible because it's right after the first day of the Chinese New Year. So at that time, we will be at the beginning of the year of Wood Dragon. And it's still, let's see, it's just right after the celebration of the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year usually celebrate I think 7 to 10 or 14 days, I forgot, something like that, right? So the criteria all fit into the criteria for the tsunamis hitting both coasts of U.S. The time frame that we're expecting is somewhere between the start of the Chinese New Year to the end of February or March, or even I would say April, because excuse me. So last night I was having dinner with my friends, and all of a sudden we were talking about the huge earthquake in San Francisco. It was in April 1906. Can you believe that? 196 in April. So that makes sense that if not in February or March, then definitely in April. Okay, so now I'd like to discuss finally the chapters in the Bible related to Son of Perdition. So the numbers of the chapters that are pretty much very significant, that are telling us the story, the beginning and the end. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Bible. Okay. The first one is chapter 6:2, verse 2. So, which means it's 62. We refer back to Genesis 6:2 is when the fallen angels first came to earth and took human wives. 6:2. So it's the beginning of the scene, and then at the end, the son of sin comes, right? 6:2 also can be looked at as 666. And in the Back to the Future, I don't remember which one, the first or the second one. When it should be when Marty is in that DeLorean, the time machine, and goes back to the future. If it's I don't really remember exactly, going back in time or going back to future, but right after the scene that Marty disappeared with the time machine, the DeLorean. In the sky, there is a 99 number 99 in flames in the sky. So 99, I think, is related to Revelation and Genesis 6:2, 666, and then they inverted it, of course, is 99. Then, the next chapter is Revelation 9, verse 1 plus 1. Can you believe that? That's insane. And refer back to Genesis chapter 9, verse 1 plus 1 is exactly after the flood, when God made a covenant with Noah that promised Noah he would not use flood to destroy the earth. So that's the first, should be the first covenant right after the first judgment. 9 plus 1 plus 1. Then chapter then is chapter, let's see, oh no, sorry, that's not. Then chapter 13. 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. So that makes sense. 13 is the number of destruction. Okay. Then chapter 17. 17 verse 7. 177. So if we go back to Genesis chapter 17:7, it was the time when God made a covenant with Abraham, and God told Abraham that he would be their God forever, like Abraham and his generations. So 17 also, this number is also related to the flood started on the 17th day, and also the 17th day Jesus ascended to heaven and then came back down to earth again and had taught his disciple how to spread the gospel and at the same time help people, right? So 17. 17a is Book of Revelation 17a, and then it's related to Genesis 17a is when God promised Abraham that he will give Canaanite territory to his generations as a promised land. So again, another covenant. And then 17:10, refer back to Genesis when God had a covenant with Abraham and told him and he to circumcise, and told him to have his offsprings that are male, that they all need to circumcise. Then 17:11 was the time God made a covenant and and had the covenant of circumcision as a token between God and Abraham.